In the journalism program at Curtin, we learn to tell stories in different ways.
We write news stories and long-form features, produce audio packages, use photos and infographics, and create video for the web and TV.
And it's a key part of the course to learn how to promote them all using social media.
Here's a compile of some of the best video news stories made by journalism students in 2021.
In Belarus, riot police have used tear gas on protesters during the 7th straight weekend of anti-government demonstrations.
Another huge protest brought here not just by that vote, but by the brutal, violent crackdown.
I'm a volunteer and a member of the advisory board of a charitable fund which is called Strana для жизни, or A Country to Live In. It's on my t-shirt. And we help volunteers who were participating in the last year's Belarusian elections of the president and found themselves in a difficult situation. We help with the food packages, people buy food with money, and then our volunteers in Belarus deliver that food to the prisoners or to their families. And also we raise money to help with legal representation if a person is accused of a crime which was not committed, but that these people still need attorneys who help them out.
There were some recordings carried out by medical staff of those people who were released after lengthy detentions of bruises, cuts, and other clear signs of physical and emotional abuse.
I'll just jump on the webpage, which is stranafund.org. Just push on a big red button in the middle of the page, donate or help, and you'll have options to help. Just go through the process. It's very easy set of prompts, and help. This is how we help each other.
Culture is very important. I grew up in the bush doing culture every day. Learned everything there is to learn. And everything there is to know about it, we know. If we don't know, we ask the elders.
So we started in 2015. Both Robert, myself and Trevor, our cultural elder, we left our careers to start as One Meeting. So what we've done over the past 7 years is also strengthened the sense of belonging and identity for youth. What does it mean to be a Noongar person? Through our company, we specialise in protecting and maintaining our culture so that we can pass it on to the next generation. If we don't have our culture to pass on, it's something significant that we'll lose forever. And if we lose that, we're losing a piece of who we are.
I think it's important because people need to be trained if we're going to create more jobs and things.
If I found a program that could teach me more about my culture, then I would, definitely.
Hi, my name's Chloe. I own CC Dress Hire. So in February 2020, I did my first Instagram post, and then after the first COVID lockdown, I got a million messages saying, oh, can I wear something this weekend? And I was like, of course. So after then I was like, oh, there's some potential. I just follow lots of people on Instagram. If I like something, I'll just buy it. Because if I like it, then people are starting to like believe in like what I like. When my models wear it, then other people want to wear it.
Yeah, I followed CC Dress Hire after I saw Ava Francis's post, and she tagged them in one of her outfit pictures and I really liked it. So I hired the top that she was wearing. I really like CC Dress Hire because just their page is so professional, and they have the Instagram models on there which sells the clothes and just really grabs you in because you're like, oh, I want to look like these Instagram models when they're wearing it.
When I started realising the effectiveness of how I get followers from influencers and how I had aesthetic photos for my Instagram, that's when I knew that influencer marketing is powerful.
The impact is really serious at the moment. It's slowly becoming much more clear to the broader community that the impact of textile waste in landfill, it's a pretty serious situation that has to be addressed really urgently. I'm encouraged by the level of growth in people's awareness and the number of organisations that are emerging that are really focused on the awareness raising and also recycling.
Our main and most active project we're working on is the Second Life Workwear recycling initiative, and what that does is implements a circular textile system at mine and operation sites with their uniforms. Once it's in Perth, we receive it and sort the jeans out into different grades. So we get jeans from pretty much brand new through to completely stained and ripped. So there's around 4 categories which we sort them into, and then from there we have different distribution avenues that we send the jeans to. I think fast fashion on a whole, there's a lot to do with the customer relationship with the clothes and figuring out better ways and relationships to wear your clothes more thoughtfully.
It is incredibly significant, and it is something that we face every day because we wear clothes and we can make a difference.
The motto is that we don't want old people to grow old on their own, and to keep them as independent as they can in their own homes and help them.
We seek to enable our members to lead active, healthy and purposeful lives, all while staying in their home. This is for you. If you want to do crocheting, that's great. If you want to play cards, that's great. You want to organise a wine tour, again, that's perfectly great. And I see my role as a coordinator I'm sort of like the umbrella that will make it all happen.
What I think this model's about is of and by the people, rather than to and for the people. And so we ask everyone who signs up, what are your gifts of the head, what are your gifts of the hands, what are your gifts of the heart, what do you care about, and how can that be used for the community?
If we can just set an example in our own small way to help people in the community and particularly help older people, multiply that by millions, and we can make a mark. We can hopefully change this attitude.
About a couple of years ago, we sort of thought we needed a place where we could recycle some of the goods that were coming in. They were too good to throw away to landfill. All the funds that we make from it all go back into the community.
It's great that people have a space to go to engage in these sorts of activities, because often people don't really know what to do and they're just sort of looking around for an opportunity to do something. And so these sorts of reuse days lets them go along, engage with community members and local governments who are interested in this sort of space, learn, but also feel like they're doing their part for the environment as well.
Every waste disposal program should have a tip shop.
There's only so much we can do in terms of policy and regulations and technology. In the end, the changes that we need to make to become a more sustainable world have to be done by everyday people. And that requires us to learn how to motivate people to change their practices and their behaviours, but also engage them in the process.
The less we send to landfill, the better. Because we've got to think about 100 years down the track, not just next week. So it should be all of our goal to sort of look long term.
Your hands. The bag.
Cameron Collects has come out of our desire to give Cameron a meaningful life.
Alright, what way should I turn now?
I like the idea of him taking up a social thing and supporting his cause, and while doing something back to the community. I never put one bottle aside, and ever since I started for Cameron, I'm going and picking up from the bins. I'm telling all the neighbours.
He is now independently able to do some collections by himself, with either myself or the support worker staying in the car, and he can now get out, walk up, pick up, bring back to the car. Our first goal with Cameron Collects is to save up and buy him his very first car, just like any young man of his age would save up and buy their first car. He loves cars. He is obsessed with cars. He loves life, and he actually shows us how to embrace life. He is the biggest life lesson, because in those moments when you think things are not worth it, you only have to look at Cameron and be reminded that life can be fleeting and short, and that he's here, and he's here for a reason, and he just loves every day.
when I came here, I thought one day that flag will change. And then in 1987, when I was given a permanent residency, I thought, well, now I get the right to have an opinion. And so I did the first design in 1987. We get the Southern Cross. Now in this case you'll see it rising. So in the current flag it's straight up and down. That's 19th century art. 21st century art, it's a bit more fluid. So it's rising. You can see that this little star is 7 points to harmonize them. And then I've enlarged the stars until they kiss. This really gives it an iconic sense. Then you get the boomerang or indigenous element there, the green and the gold. In a sense, so far it hasn't worked because it's not on top of Parliament House, but as long as it's fun and it's endlessly entertaining, particularly when you see someone come up and look at that and go, wow, that's beautiful, I just love that. And people say, oh, you can't change history. No, you can make history, and that's what we intend to do. We're going to make history. Canada got a wonderful design. South Africa got a wonderful design. And when we get this design, there'll be nations of the world will be jealous. Think about it.
Jim's the oldest member here. And how old does the oldest member have to be, Jim? 93. Doing gardening at home, so I thought, well, why don't we join a garden? So I'll eat through that food, and then what you do is then start feeding down this area. There's so much more nutrients, so many more nutrients in the foods that you grow compared to what you buy, and they taste fantastic.
It's good to have the sport finally get some recognition that I think a lot of the people in the community feel like it deserves. There's been plenty of people that have come in lately that said they've actually come in because of the Olympics. Give something a try, something new, and kind of see it as a sport that not just do for kids' parties when they were younger.
I love climbing because it's such a personal achievement when you actually get to the top of the climb, or even don't get to the top and just get a move that you've been stuck on for ages. Like, it just proves perseverance, and it's such a mental game.
See, we get people probably from age of 5 with our squads all the way up to maybe 70 years old. Physically, it's challenging in many aspects because there's so many types of climbing, but definitely the problem solving is definitely a big draw.
Come with a friend, come with some support so they can cheer you on and you can cheer them on. And be kind to yourself because everyone has to start somewhere. We're not all pros to begin with.
Around student sense of belonging, really. Watson's from Career Dogs Australia, and he's been on campus since he was 16 weeks old. What we found is the students enjoy him being around.
So we have Watson visit every now and then. Always an awesome day whenever he comes around, and it just helps relieve all the tension and stress in the air, I reckon. I think everyone would agree that we all love having Watson here, and it just gives you a moment to take your mind off the assessments and just chill out for a bit during the day. I always feel so much better afterwards.
So they can play with him or sit with him. They love having their picture taken and being put on Instagram. And he's just there for general support. So what I'm hoping to achieve from this is really to encourage educators to look at the wellbeing of students, because I believe that they can't take on the content or engage with the content if they're not well, if they're too stressed or they're anxious. So having something like Watson or some kind of wellbeing initiative kind of helps with that and relaxes the student and helps them to belong to the environment.